Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Google Earth is a marvelous tool, giving the average Joe a perspective of the world they wouldn't normally get. As you spend countless hours virtually perusing our world through Google's satellite application, keep an eye out and you may just stumble across something eerie and unexpected, like these 10 creepy Google Earth findings. Number 10. Come downtown. There are few things creepier than graffiti beckoning you to play. It reeks of a perilous situation that ends with you tied to a chair and a towering figure in a clown mask hovering over you. While we replay this scenario of terror in our minds over and over, you should know that Come Downtown and Play is actually plastered on the roof of a harmless retail, office, and residential building in downtown Memphis, Tennessee, USA. Despite being a little ominous, the creepy message is likely a playful advert to draw attention to bustling downtown Memphis. Or, it's a trap! Number 9. SS Jassim. On December 1, 2003, the SS Jassim passenger ferry out of Bolivia capsized in the Wingate Reef off the perilous coast of Sudan. Not the first vessel to lose its bearings in the Wingate Reef. Thanks to Google Earth, the devastating wreckage is one we can visit whenever we see fit. Amidst the sea of dark blue and patches of green, a white object, clearly in the form of the 265-foot or 80-meter-long passenger vessel, is clearly visible. Though the Jassim suffered no casualties, the very public image on Google Earth is an eerie reminder of the many much smaller vessels lost to the unforgiving seas. The Jassim is far from the only vessel captured on Google Earth, but it is one of the easiest to spot due to its size. Number 8. The Badlands Guardian. Near Medicine Hat in southeastern Alberta, Canada, curious eyes can peer an uncanny wonder that looks a bit too perfectly formed to be natural. No matter how much like a humanoid figure this rock formation may look like, it isn't the product of human crafting and was formed through the erosion of layers of clay-rich soil by rainwater. Superstitious viewers may conclude something else is going on here and that the Badlands Guardian is really a supernatural overseer awaiting its need to come forth and set the world straight. Number 7. Hungarian Jesus. Jesus has been seen just about everywhere. Tacos, fruit, hidden within Mother Nature. But thanks to Google Earth, and maybe Photoshop, we may have our largest case of a holy image yet. Even just a quick glance at the empty farmland in Puspokladanya, Hungary, reveals the shadowy outline of a classic Jesus-like face, or maybe a long-haired Jude Law. The discovery was presented by 26-year-old Zach Evans after stumbling across the image while searching for vacation destinations. Even zoomed out, the shadow is predominant and a little eerie-looking, even if it may just be a common case of matrixing, when your brain tells your eyes what you're seeing. Number 6. Atomic holes. Zoom in on some parts of Nevada and it starts to look like the country has pretty bad acne. We jest because the truth behind this series of holes is far more somber and links back to atomic testing in the area. Between 1962 and 1963, Operation Storax accounted for 47 above and below ground nuclear tests at the Nevada test site, and it appears Google Earth still picks up on the destructive remnants left on the planet's surface. There are dozens of visible holes, some measuring upwards of 500 feet or about 150 meters wide, which serve as a constant reminder on Google Earth as to the destructive force even behind the smallest of atomic weaponry. Number 5. The Naval Swastika. As you browse through the area just south of San Diego, California on Google Earth, you may come across a structure that could both confuse and offend you. At first glance, the Naval Amphibious Base Coronado looks like a swastika, but that seems completely out of place for an institution used by the U.S. Navy, right? As creepy as it may seem, this is no product of Photoshop. Completed by 1969, World War II had long been over, and the swastika, which was once a sign of good fortune, had already been bastardized by the Nazis, which is likely why naval officials and the U.S. government are quick to claim the design was accidental. But there are those that have their doubts, including us. In 2012, it was reported that $600,000 would be sunk into rectifying the issue, mostly by having the image blurred, but little seems to have changed. Number 4. Haas of Artesina. There are several instances of giant man-made murals and objects visible by Google Earth, including the Uppington White Horse in England and a colored KFC logo in Rachel, Nevada. But the terrifying giant pink rabbit in Artesina, Italy takes the cake for one of the creepiest creations. The gangly limbs and shocked gaping maw are just the tip of the iceberg. Upon further inspection, you'll find that the monstrosity has been gutted on its left side. Spilling over the countryside are oversized wool organs that visitors can climb on. The piece was a creation of a group of artists from Vienna, Austria, known as Gelatin, and was designed to decompose and vanish by 2025. Number 3. MH370. There's a lot of debate to be had surrounding the alleged discovery made by UFO watcher Scott Waring, but even if it's not exactly what the ET enthusiast claims, it may still be an eerie trace of a different tragedy. Back in March of 2016, Waring believes he stumbled across the wreckage of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 while searching for an old UFO sighting around the Cape of Good Hope. The Google Earth image Waring surveyed was from July of 2015, leading to his hypothesis that the wreckage had plenty of time to move from its original 2014 crash site. Did Waring locate the intact remains of MH370? Or another long-gone aircraft? Or is it a trick of the eyes? As of August 2016, potential debris from the flight found off of Mozambique supports that MH370 exploded prior to crashing. Number 2. The Kazakhstan Pentagram. The pentagram has long since been separated from its sole connection to Satanism, but there are still those that may take issue with an oversized version of the symbol appearing vividly on Google Earth. The pentagram can be found in a corner of Kazakhstan in Central Asia. While the design looks ominous, archaeologist Emma Usmanova, who has extensive knowledge of the region, claims it's a park made into the form of a star. The star, by the way, a product of Kazakhstan's past link to the former Soviet Union, which was known to litter buildings, monuments, and other structures of note with stars. Number 1. Blood Lake. What first looks like a sloppy digital alteration in MS Paint is a real phenomenon that turns this lake outside of Sadr City in Iraq a blood-red color clearly visible from satellite imaging. Speculation as to why the lake is red has ranged from chemical pollution to an increase in algae bloom to locals dumping byproduct from animal slaughter into the waters. The change in color is even made more curious by the considerably smaller unchanged lakes around it and the fact that the red tint is not permanent. At the time of this video's creation, the lake was its normal hue of green. I like the pink bunny best. Maybe they thought it was hair-raising or hair-hilariously funny. But they say it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from the village. Sorry, I'm going to my room now.